In this video I'm going to explain how PostTrans knows how to import data, but our static data, our customers, our suppliers, our stock, our equivalent database, discount matrices, bill of materials, all that kind of data. Transaction information is kind of different but is explained in a different video, so we're just basically honing in on static data here. So I have my customer supplier template open. I'm just going to explain that, although the principles are exactly the same for all of the static data information. So if you're importing bill of materials or discounts, the principle is exactly the same. Okay, so how does PostTrans know even what this template is? Well, the first thing it does is it looks at cell A1 when you press the post transaction. Cell A1, AC posted. If you've seen in the examples, it writes posted as it imports everything, so it can't be done twice. So for a start, that's the column it's going to use to put that information in. But the AC in front means it's account information. If I look at our stock import, it's STK posted, discount is disc posted, etc. and so on. BOM posted, all the rest. Then it carries on looking through here, which then tells it information each column contains, what information should be pushed into RS Enterprise or pulled from it. So here we can see the second column, error description. This allows PostTrans to write any errors it finds in the sheet for the user to correct. For instance, a field may be over 30 characters, so it will write that in so you can amend it. Third column would be account type, code and account name. So let's just pull some example data out of RS Enterprise. So I just pressed update lookups there. Can add loads of criteria here, but let's just pull out a clump of information. So we can see there account type, account code and name. Now maybe we want to edit the address. So how would we add it to this template? Okay, well we'd need to add tags in row 1 to tell it that's address line 1, 2 and 3. But obviously we'd need to know exactly the terminology PostTrans expects to use. To allow us to do this, we have the design button on the PostTrans toolbar. If I press the design button, you can see there we have a list of all the fields available for update within accounts that PostTrans allows. It's important to note there's a whole host at the top there that are actually required. Obviously it needs to know what account type is, it needs to know the code to either import or update an account record, and the posted and the error description as we discussed a few moments earlier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add address line 1 to the import. So let's just double click on address line 1 and let's move across. Address line 2, move across, and address line 3. It's important to note you can't suddenly go across here and say I want this tag and this tag and this tag from totally unrelated data. So we pop that in. Now let's press update lookups this time, and we should now see our address information being populated, which we have done. So now we can simply make some amendments to the data like that. We'll just test that that goes in. So that's account ACCO01. Let's post that. And now we should see PostTrans only updated that one record. Now you might say, how did it do that? Well, we have a checksum written into the error description, which is kind of an arithmetic calculation of the contents of each row. So when I edit a cell like that, now that formula no longer adds up to that value, and PostTrans knows that that row has changed and thus updates that row. So let's go back to our AC01. So that was a customer, I believe, ACC01, and we should now have 1, 2, 3 in the addresses. Perfect. So now let's test another feature of PostTrans, which is if a line of information goes over a certain length, and this is useful when you're first setting up a system. It's very easy to export data from one system and expect it to go in the other, and find out that things didn't fit in months after. And you see now we have a warning. It says check warning, address line 1 is over 30 characters, because Exchequer only allows 30 characters, and we've tried to post in 41 characters. So now we could edit that. We could probably trail it over to address line 2 and 3, and let's do that actually. Let's just take that a little bit off there, and we'll pop that in that cell there. So now when we post it, we find it's now posted it in. So again, it's corrected that information. So that's another feature of PostTrans. It's also important to note that each template has a default sheet. This should not be edited, but is quite important because it actually stores all the settings that are in system setup. And when importing static data, there isn't much that's affected here, but some of these certain defaults are used. But basically, if you're unsure about anything, if you just press the help link here, and also on the design button there's a help link, then it takes you to our website, which lists all the fields that can be updated and the particular properties of those fields and features. Now, we talked about the rows, the tag data being in row 1. It's important to note that it actually skips row 2, so you can type in there user kind of friendly descriptions, and then it always expects to see the data in row 3. So I think that about concludes this video. So in this video we've kind of learnt about the tags and the design button that helps you pull out the information from RS Enterprise using PostTrans.